Olá raposas e magos, tudo bem com vocês?
Eu sou a Yuki, e bem-vindos ao mundo da Yuki.
Bom vídeo! Continuando da onde paramos raposas e magos. Espero que gostem do vídeo, se inscreva no canal e ative o sininho de notificação para mais vídeos e futuras lives. Deixe seu like e comente o que estão achando. Não deixe de me seguir também nas outras redes sociais, links na descrição e bora lá, raposas e magos.
We are gathered here today to bid farewell to all who lost their lives in this war. This struggle has caused us profound pain and brought us face to face with loneliness and loss. But through it all, our bravery and resolve never wavered, and we never lost sight of victory. Even the tiniest of sparks can unite to become a blazing fire. They lit our way forward and showed us the path to victory. When our homeland is revived and life blooms again, they will return to us with the first rain of spring. It is just as our poem describes. We are the inheritors of memory and legend. Those who grew alongside sun and wind. Those who forged our own destiny and future. That is Natlan's fire, the lifeblood of our nation. The fallen are never truly lost to us. We will be reunited one day. And as we create new legends and write new poems in honor of our beloved homeland, they will always be with us. Their deeds immortalized in our memory, and their names immortalized in stone. This epic will be remembered in the actions of every valiant warrior and brave Saurian, all equally important and indispensable. I would also like to take the time to recognize a Fatui Harbinger, who sacrificed his life for our cause. He was a warrior from Conria, who helped defend our nation 500 years ago, a man who used his own heart as refuge for the souls of the fallen. For the chance to offer them a final resting place, he chose to fight with us once again. In the end, he fulfilled his wish and returned the souls to the ley lines. By turning his curse into a weapon, he defeated his fated foe and protected me in the process. We have had our differences in the past, and I cannot say his character is representative of all in his organization. But on this occasion, we honor him as one of our own. In Natlan, all heroes are worthy of celebration. Our hero's here. Is there something you want to discuss?
Sobre as posturas dos príncipes celestiais e das sombras.
The forces of the Abyss have always sought to corrode Tevat. The ley lines were created by the heavenly principles, and it's only with their protection that Tevat is able to nurture all forms of life. If the Abyss had free reign, this world would become a living hell. We saw any attempt by humanity to harness the power of the Abyss is met with swift punishment. The heavenly principles and the Shades show no mercy in that regard. That unyielding approach is also the source of great sorrow and hatred. The situation goes beyond a simple discussion of right versus wrong. Perhaps the truth will reveal itself during your future adventures.
Sobre a ode da ressurreição, de alguma forma ativando antes da vitória.
Oh, isn't it obvious? The Ode of Resurrection didn't take effect at all. Your own strength is what allowed you to keep fighting, as well as the moral support from everyone in Natlan. Still, moral support is also an important, if underappreciated, effect of the Ode of Resurrection.
Sobre a gnose de Natlan.
The captain's subordinates sent us a letter he left behind. After our duel at the stadium, he asked Tsaritsa to remove him from the responsibility of obtaining the Gnosis, and his request was granted. The captain respected the outcome of that match, and refused to violate his principles. But, since this is the final Gnosis, I doubt that Tsaritsa will let the situation stand. Perhaps a replacement Harbinger will be sent here soon. I'll make sure to be prepared.
Sobre a próxima parada da minha jornada.
A direct conflict with the Fatui is unavoidable the moment you step foot in Snezhnaya. So make sure you're ready for any scenario. On a related note, I've acquired some new intel about the fragment that suddenly appeared in the sky. Such fragments are known as Ancient Moon's remnants, relics of secret source technology from the era of the ancient dragons. Coincidentally, a small squad of Fatui infiltrated our borders around the same time it appeared. Our investigation revealed them to be the subordinates of the Doctor. Their stronghold is in Nod Krai, a land with a long history not far from Snezhnaya. The people there can use a very special power. It's said that this mysterious power predates even the 7 elements of Tevat. Ancient Moon's remnants, the Doctor, a mysterious power? The project that connects all 3 must be ambitious indeed.
Sobre qual tribo meu nome antigo pertencerá?
Huh? Tribe? Oh, you're thinking along the lines of how the names of the 6 heroes were inherited. In truth, apart from a few ancient names associated with a certain tribal culture or tradition, most ancient names can be inherited by anyone. Your name likely falls under that category. The Wyab will select someone who shares your character and name them as your successor. Of course, that won't happen for a very long time.
Não tenho mais perguntas.
The long journey of the Pyro Archon has now come to an end. Together, we overcame darkness and death to accomplish something truly remarkable. As we celebrate your glory, allow me to thank you once again. This time, just as Mawika. Thank you for the respect, understanding, and support every step of the way.
Foi uma honra.
An honor we share. You can keep chatting with your friends nearby. I think I'll stay here for now and watch over them.
What are you thinking about, Traveler? Oh, the battle, right? Even though we won in the end, it cost a lot to get to this point, huh?
Cante sua última canção com orgulho, como a marcha de um herói para o outro lado. Esse monumento comemora os 2.101 bravos guerreiros que deram suas vidas na guerra por Natlan. Vou deixar isso para eles.
Story! Story! I want to hear a story!
Come on! Tell us! Tell us!
Well, you kids don't miss a beat, do you? All right. You can be the first audience for this new tale. Let me know what you think. Now, where to begin?
Want to stop and listen to the story? Sounds pretty fun!
Claro.
This is a story of the great heroes of our time. There are 3 great heroes at the center of this tale. The first is an outlander known as the Traveler, a warrior of great strength, completely immune to the power of the abyss. More importantly, the Traveler is kind and brave, someone who treasures those around her. You could call her a natural-born hero.
Yeah, she's super strong! Tell us more!
Hey, just let him finish the story! The man telling the story keeps looking this way, Traveler. Paimon thinks he recognizes you.
Bem, a gente já fez Fulminatum.
The second hero is also an outlander. Many years ago, he forged a connection with this land and used his body as a vessel for the souls of his fallen comrades. His goal was to give them a home and, with that, a chance to be reborn into this world. The third hero is none other than our current Archon, Mawika. Not only is she a powerful and respected figure, but she also commands the power of the Ode of Resurrection, which can bring people back from the dead. With the support of 6 heroes from 500 years ago, she united Natlan against a dangerous foe. Now, this story truly begins with the arrival of the Traveler in Natlan. Under her guidance, Kachina performed exceptionally well in the pilgrimage and earned her chance at the Night Warden Wars. Suddenly, the sky turned dark, the sacred flame went out, and Gasoithoth appeared. Everyone gathered at the stadium and sang the Ode of Resurrection together to send their support to the furthest corner of the Night Kingdom. Hermione became known by all, and everyone began reciting the words that defined its message. In the beginning, there was darkness, until someone set themselves aflame. Only then did the universe know light. Anyway, the dust has now settled, and Natlan has entered a new era of peace. The Traveler fought for life. The Captain fought for death. And our Archon, Mawika, created a bridge between them.
Wow! Is there more? Please don't let that be the end!
Sounds like you like this one. Tell you what, give me some time and I'll write it all out in even greater detail.
I loved it! This is the best story ever! Yeah, and Hermione is the coolest ancient name. I get to be Hermione today, okay guys?
Hey, it's supposed to be my turn! No, it's my turn!
No, it's my turn! I get to be Hermione today! So, no one wants to be the Pyro Archon anymore?
Sounds fun. What do you say, Traveler? Wanna let Paimon be Tumaini for the day?
Tá, então serei Paimon.
Alrighty then. Let's go, Paimon. A new adventure awaits.
A musiquinha até gostosinha dessa área, hein? Indo pra estátua do 7. É aqui que começa a nova área.
Something's hiding behind that statue! Aw, it's a baby ectomisaur! So cute! Although, why is it staring at us? Traveler!
Que lugar é esse? Quem é você?
How long was Paimon out? Paimon locked eyes with that baby ectomisaur for like a second, and then she was suddenly pulled into this strange place with a huge ectomisaur.
É, idem.
Any idea what happened? Traveler? Hey, what's wrong?
Estamos sendo chamadas?
Look, it's that baby ectomisaur. Seems like it wants us to follow it. Paimon's adventurous side says we have to see where this leads.
Estou dentro. Vamos nessa. Chamado do Mestre dos Ventos Noturnos. Ato 1. Como se abre a questão desse coração? Foto do lugar. Da hora o lugar. Muito top. Tem uma agora pronto.
Oh, check it out! The graffiti on the wall is glowing! Masters of the Night Wind. And by the looks of it, Masters of Nightlife, too. Wonder if we're allowed in here. Oh, the door opened all by itself. Taking that as a yes. Aw, the ectomisaur from earlier! It's really here!
Foi ele quem nos chamou.
Then, let's go introduce ourselves! Hello there, Okay. Probably doesn't understand what we're saying. Doesn't look like any cogs are turning in there. Whoops! Sorry! No offense intended!
You there! You dare disrespect our elder?
Oh, you mean... Oh, I see. Sorry, my mistake. Apparently you are here by invitation, in which case it's my job to make you feel welcome. Some introductions are in order. I am Koholam, one of the priests of our tribe. And this is our Iktomisor elder, the great Tlapokpokteets Tatel, a living totem among the masters of the Nightwind.
Whoa, that's quite a tongue twister.
In truth, we usually go with Elder Tlapo for short. You're welcome to do the same.
Fomos convidados até aqui de uma forma bem peculiar.
Ah, I assume you're referring to our elder's special ability. Elder Tlapo has been alive for many centuries and harbors secrets that even we priests are at a loss to explain. So your reaction is entirely natural. But one thing I can say for sure is that Elder Tlapo has appointed the two of you to an extremely important task. For this...
What sort of task? And what kind of test?
If it's all right with you, I'll take you to see our chief. He's in a much better position to answer your questions.
Okay, sure.
Very well. Then please follow me. You can use this scroll to go directly to the obsidian altar, where the chief is. Don't worry, it's just one of the many mystical abilities of our tribe.
Whoa, what was that just now?
One of the routine duties of a priest. We attempt to contact the spirits of our ancestors to seek epiphanies and revelations. The chief is just over there. Please wait here while I have a word with him. I'll just be a moment.
Well, the Masters of the Nightwind are definitely living up to their reputation as the mysterious ones.
All right, I've told the chief why we're here, and now you may speak with him. Right this way.
So, you two are the appointed ones. I am Chief Biram. Welcome, and thank you for your patience.
So tall.
Unusually so. Yes, I am aware, but I assure you, it's no cause for alarm.
Oh, no, of course not. Sorry, Paimon just reacted without thinking.
Que papo é esse sobre termos sido escolhidas?
Ah, yes. Koholam told me about that. As outsiders to our tribe, this is probably the first you've heard of such appointments. I'm sure the whole thing seems very confusing. Throughout our history, only members of the Masters of the Nightwind have been appointed to undertake these tasks. This is the first time an outsider has ever been chosen.
Really?
Allow me to explain. our tribe has an old tradition of recording history in the form of woven scrolls. And not just our own history. We record the legends and heroic feats of all other tribes as well. It is a tradition we have observed for many centuries. We treat it as a solemn duty. However, when a major event occurs that affects all of Natlan, we record it on a different kind of scroll, used for this exact purpose. And these scrolls can only be woven by someone of the Iktomisor Elders' choosing. When the Iktomisor Elder senses a major change in the ley lines, it will issue a formal declaration to appoint a creator for this scroll.
Whoa, so you mean...
Elder Talapo sensed a ley line change quite some time ago, but had not yet designated the scroll weavers until you arrived.
Okay, but just so you're aware, we don't know the first thing about weaving scrolls.
As a matter of fact, that does not surprise me at all.
How come?
In the 200 years that Elder Talapo has held this position, none of the appointed ones have ever been experienced scroll weavers.
Does that mean 200 years of major historical events have gone unrecorded?
No. They all submitted scrolls in time, yet each of them claimed it was not their own work, but a gift from the spirits.
Man, this tribe gets more mysterious by the second.
Yes, well, that is the part that troubles me. The notion that we have to rely on esoteric things like gifts from the spirits to record historical events of such great importance. It is unsettling.
Huh. That's pretty surprising to hear, coming from the chief of this tribe.
I can imagine. You probably see the Masters of the Night Wind as a people shrouded in mystery, who pride ourselves on our arcane practices. But I am something of an exception. I may be the chief, but when it comes to our traditions, I am in fact a proponent of change and reform. I have dedicated my energies to deciphering the many mysteries of our tribe. In doing so, I hope to establish clearer rules that will help sustain our traditions in the future.
Wow, that sounds great! So have you figured out the mystery of the gift from the spirits?
Sadly not. It is something I've been investigating for a long time, but I have yet to uncover what this gift truly refers to. Only a small handful of events over the years have been recorded on these special scrolls, with decades between each one. And by the time the next scroll weaver is appointed, my time as chief will be long gone. I will not be in a position to investigate as thoroughly.
So...
While I haven't gotten to the bottom of the matter, I have made some progress. But the only way I can develop my theories further is with the cooperation of the appointed ones.
E é por isso que você quer que a gente faça esse teste?
Precisely. It's nothing to be worried about. Simply a means of validating my current hypothesis. It shouldn't take you long, nor will it put you in any danger.
Tudo bem, então o que isso envolve mesmo?
I can explain everything in detail when we get to the site of the test. But first, please wait a moment while I change out of the soul-shielding cloak. This garb is one of our important cultural relics, handed down by generations of chiefs. It is only to be worn when conducting certain ceremonies.
Oh!
Byron remove seu manto e cuidadosamente entrega para um sacerdote guardá-lo.
Please, follow me. Do you see this scroll? If you touch it, you will enter a hidden space. Today's test is, quite simply, to find a way to escape that space.
That's it?
I assure you, it's not as easy as it sounds. If you cannot find your own way out, I will of course intervene to bring you back here. But then, we will be no closer to solving this mystery.
Vamos tentar.
Good. Simply touch the scroll to begin the test.
Whoa, we really did get teleported.
Mas cadê a saída?
It seems like this place is completely sealed off. Doesn't look like there's an exit anywhere. Let's take a look around and see what we can find.
É tipo assim, encontre a saída. Se vire nos 30. Peraí, verificar. Este pergaminho foi propositalmente pendurado bem no meio do teto. Seja qual for o significado, deve ser especial. Tá. Temos uma pista. Eita, é o mouse. Pronto. Acho que agora resolve. Uma enorme pilha de pergaminhos tecidos. A camada grossa de poeira indica que estão aqui há muito tempo. Tem algum tipo de máquina aqui, provavelmente usada para tecer.
There are so many woven scrolls here. Paimon remembers seeing some of them before in other tribes. They seem to record historical events. This one really stands out from the rest. For starters, it's the biggest of them all. Wonder what story it tells.
As cores também são bem diferenciadas.
Yeah, you're right. Over there, something just flashed. Traveler, did you catch that?
Talvez seja assim que a gente sai. Vendo coisas que não vimos antes.
Oh, right. Paimon's with you.
O Ikitomissauro pode ativar a visão elemental especial, passando a perceber o que antes era imperceptível. Tem uma parede aqui, ó, invisível.
Aha! There is something hiding here! Yep, this looks like our ticket out of this place.
Ah, é, seguir erro. Nunca foi difícil. Era a pessoa que não prestou atenção mesmo.
Whew, we finally made it out.
It is just as I thought. You are indeed capable of undertaking this mission.
Isso provou sua teoria?
Yes. You saw many distinctive-looking scrolls there, didn't you?
Sure did.
This specific kind of scroll was left to us by our ancestors. Upon investigation, I discovered what sets it apart is the use of a color not featured in ordinary scrolls. It is a most mysterious color that most people cannot even detect. I myself had to employ special techniques to confirm its existence. Yet there are those who are born with a natural ability to perceive it. And that is why I wanted to test you.
You mean...
That space you just entered was an exhibition room for storing this variety of woven scrolls. Centuries ago, a great shaman by the name of Huitzilin put in place a security measure so that anyone who entered the room without permission will become trapped inside. It exists to this day, and although I have not managed to decipher how it works, I have at least found out how to turn it on and off. Once someone is trapped inside, it is all but impossible for them to escape without outside help, unless they share the great shaman's ability to perceive that strange color.
Eu vi uma certa cor lá.
Clearly, you must have this ability, which leads me to believe that our Iktomisor Elder can sense this ability in people, and that it appoints a scroll weaver on this basis.
Another secret power? Traveler, you are full of mysteries. Still, having this ability doesn't change the fact that neither of us know where to start with weaving a scroll.
Don't worry about that. The method for weaving this kind of scroll appears to be largely the same as for an ordinary scroll. The main difference is in the dye that gives it its unique color. If my suspicions are correct, this dye is the key to weaving the scroll, and your special ability is the key to obtaining it. The dyeing process is also a little different from the norm, but I don't anticipate any major issues there. As long as you two can source the dye itself, I can assist with the application.
Cool, we'll follow your lead.
Great! Then please use your abilities to source the necessary ingredients. And in the meantime, I will have someone prepare some fabric for test dyeing. We'll make a few sample pieces to test out my hypothesis. And if that goes well, we can begin the scroll in earnest. If you agree to help, you can expect to be handsomely rewarded once this is all over. So, what are your thoughts?
Eu acho que com a habilidade de ajudar, vem a responsabilidade também.
Agreed, especially if there's a reward in it. What is the reward, by the way? Is it food? Paimon hopes it's food.
Given the stakes involved for our tribe, I was thinking a substantial sum of mora would be appropriate. Surely that would be preferable to just a free meal.
More works too. Anyway, how do we go about finding these ingredients? Are we supposed to just keep walking around Natlan until we stumble across them?
Thankfully not. I've already identified a location where I suspect they may be found. And your guide is waiting just outside. You can set off at your leisure.
Lugar lindo.
I take it you're the ones appointed by Elder Talapo?
Yep, and you are...
Call me Toltec. The chief asked me to be your guide for the day. His messengers already filled me in on the situation. So just follow me.
Cor lendária. Ato 2.
So the guy is somewhere in this cave, huh?
This is as far as I can take you. Only the appointed ones may proceed from here.
Why's that?
Kind of a long story. Apparently, there's a certain fruit that grows in this cave, the juice of which can be processed to make an excellent dye. Many years ago, our ancestors set out to make a series of ambitious works of graffiti art. They selected this cave to make them in, presumably. However, they didn't want anyone to see their work before it was completed, and so they sealed off the entrance to control access. To bypass the seal, you have to have mastered the art of color perception, or something like that.
Oh, right.
The strange thing is, our ancestors never removed the seal even after they finished the graffiti art. Since it was sealed off, the only person who's been inside is the great shaman, Huitzilin, and that was 300 years ago. According to her, the artwork tells the story of a hero by the name... But I digress. Sorry, I'm a big fan of graffiti artwork. Once I get talking, I can go on for hours.
So you're sure you don't want to come with us?
I'll pass. I tried to get in once, but the seal blocked my way. I tried getting my Iktomi to clear it with its powers, but even that didn't work. I guess it's supposed to be a test left there by our ancestors. If you don't pass the test, you're not worthy of viewing their works of art.
Aww.
Don't worry about me, though. I wouldn't be joining you this time even if I was able to get in. Unlike our chief, I don't have the guts to challenge our traditions. This task is specifically appointed to someone by the Iktomi Elder. Who knows what bad things might happen if I got involved?
Fair enough. Alright, we'll try not to take too long.
Eu podia pedir pelo menos uma foto, ó. Então, já que tu tá indo lá... Ah, mas também é muito rolê tirar foto pelo outro. É, mas não ficava nada também, né? Mas deixa abaixo, não vamos dar ideia.
Looks like there's no way past. Maybe try the same thing as before?
Peraí. Ah!
Hey, it worked! Let's head in and take a look! This should be the place. That fruit Toltec mentioned should be the one on the wall, right? Now the only question is, which ones do we pick?
É provavelmente aqui que entra a minha habilidade especial que o chefe mencionou.
Well, go ahead, try it out!
Mas antes, o ponto de observatório tá bem aqui. Olha que lugar bonitinho. Anotações confusas. Criar muralhas em locais onde a tinta é produzida é realmente uma boa ideia. Podemos apenas pegar o material relevante no local e encher as tintas que faltam. Não é possível que fale apenas sobre 3 guerreiros tribais sendo derrotados pela malvada feiticeira Rumi. Será que o mural onde aparece Kuntum está em outro lugar? A história não poderia acabar justo quando os 3 guerreiros tribais foram derrotados por Rumu, o feiticeiro maligno. Será que o mural em que Junto aparece está em outro lugar?
You saw something, right? Whatever it was, grab it!
Oxi, não entendi nada. Mas deixa
These
quieto, eu
guys'
sei.
ancestors made some real works of art here. But based on what we've seen so far, it seems like there should be more to the story. Do you think maybe there's more artwork further inside? Seems kinda strange.
Podemos dar uma olhada se quiser.
Oh, no need. Paimon was just thinking aloud. Toltek's waiting for us, and we have a job to do. So maybe it's best if we head out now. Let's head back and meet up with Toltek. We're back, and we found the ingredients for the dye.
Sounds like you made it through the seal then. Our Iktomisaur Elder was right about you. It's getting late. Follow me. I'll take us back.
Toltek has updated me on your progress. Well done. I appreciate your efforts.
Sure thing. Here's the stuff for the dye.
Aqui, ó, os 3 conjuntos de tinta. Colocar, entregar.
I see. Yes, this is certainly a very different substance from typical dyes. Okay, now let's try our hand at making some samples. The fab...
Got it.
Please come with me. Take a look at this. It's a woven scroll made by one of our ancestors. This is the kind of thing we're trying to make.
Ooh.
The person depicted is the legendary shaman, Huitzilin. She lived 200 years ago and was once appointed by the Iktomisaur Elder, like yourselves. She was especially skilled in the art of color manipulation, and of course completed her task with flying colors. This scroll is a record of her deeds, and was most likely the work of her own hand. The quality is simply breathtaking, even compared to other scrolls of this variety. Sadly, since she passed away, all of our Iktomisaur Elder's subsequent appointees have had to rely on the gift from the spirits to complete their work.
Mas agora você está prestes a reviver uma tradição mais velha.
That's a good way of putting it. My only quibble with your phrasing would be, it's not just me, but us.
Now Paimon's getting excited.
Bring out the samples.
Uma assistente apresenta as amostras para os testes de pintura.
Now, as I mentioned, the dyeing process is a little complicated, but I am confident you will manage. Just make sure to follow my instructions carefully.
Sem problemas. Vamos nessa.
The pattern has already been sketched out on the sample, so you just need to dye each block with the correct color. But you'll need to wait for the dye to fully soak in between each step to make sure the colors don't run.
Pintar os tecidos como instruído.
Ha ha ha! Good! The dye has taken to the fabric, and the pattern is crisp and clear. Next, apply all the remaining dye, and we should see that elusive signature color emerge.
Okay, final step.
Aplicar o restante da tinta.
Did it work? Paimon doesn't see it.
Oh, that color isn't showing up. Oh, the dyeing has failed.
Eu cometi algum erro?
No, your technique was flawless. You did everything exactly as instructed. It would have made no difference if I'd done it myself.
Then what went wrong?
It could be the weaving technique, or maybe the dye has to be applied in a different way. Oh, whatever the case, it looks like I have failed to get to the bottom of this mystery.
Sorry, Paimon wishes we could do more to help.
I am the one who should be apologizing. I made you do so much work, and it was for nothing. I will, of course, honor my commitment to compensate you for your trouble, but I do hope you won't give up on this task. I plan to keep investigating, and will be sure to keep you updated with any progress.
Don't worry, we're not quitters. Paimon does have a question, though. This whole process of recording history on woven scrolls seems so complicated. Why don't you just write it down instead? You said yourself you're all about change and reform. Well, this seems like a pretty good place to start, don't you think? Writing things down would be easier for everyone and your records would be more detailed.
I think you perhaps misunderstood my philosophy, but that's okay. I can answer your question, but there's somewhere I need to show you first.
Oh, sure.
Vou cortar o vídeo aqui até chegar ao local, pois eu fiquei perdida no mapa como de costume kkkk.
Caraca, a gente realmente tá num lugar alto.
Cool. Look at this view. What do you...
It's gorgeous!
Now, try looking a little further.
Whoa, that graffiti!
In all the years since the founding of our tribe, those colors have been with us every step of the way. It is true that I seek to bring new life to this ancient tribe through change and reform. But I also understand there are certain foundational things that we cannot afford to throw away. The foremost of these is the way we record our history.
Oh, that makes sense.
Since the very beginnings, our tribe has always sought to bring color to history. And I have a deep sense that this is one part of our heritage that we should not give up. So, whatever it takes, I must find a way for us to continue producing our traditional woven scrolls.
You're completely right. Paimon's sorry for what she said earlier. It was out of line.
It's quite all right. I'm just grateful you're able to understand where I'm coming from.
Nos comprometemos a te ajudar a resolver isso.
Then let us hope that when we next meet, we succeed in reviving this tradition.
Bem, raposas e magos, eu vou ficando por aqui. Espero que gostem do vídeo, se inscreva no canal e ative o sininho de notificação para mais vídeos e futuras lives. Deixe seu like e comente o que estão achando. Não deixe de me seguir também nas outras redes sociais, links na descrição e até breve.
Huh? What are the Fatui doing here? That's a little concerning. Let's go over here and see what they're up to. Also, how did they get this close to a tribal settlement?
Bem, considerando o que o Capitano fez por Natlan,
All the Fatui left in Natlan are probably the captain's subordinates. That basically makes them followers of one of Natlan's heroes. Still, once a Fatus, always a Fatus. Something seems off seeing them here. Let's go check it out!
Following orders. If you have a problem, take it up with our employer.
Hey, what's with the attitude? Can the Fatui even work for a private employer?
This is Grudok. I hired him to be my bodyguard in Natlan. As you can see, he's not the sociable type. I'm sorry for any offense. My original plan was to hire someone from the local tribes, but a priest recommended Grudok and his squad. I was told they were capable fighters and had the time to spare, so they fit the bill. It seems like the Fatui's reputation in Natlan is quite positive.
So that's what happened. Then you must be from Fontaine?
Precisely! Montluçon, at your service. I work in the publication business. And you two... Wait. You must be the traveler and her fairy companion.
Oh, you know us?
A golden-haired traveler with a floating companion. There's no mistake. Your exploits in Fontaine have all the makings of a best-selling series. I'd be a failure of a book merchant if I couldn't recognize you.
Wow, we're really famous at this point, traveler.
It's truly my lucky day. I know this is sudden, but I was actually looking for you two. You see, I have a favor to ask.
So, you chased us all the way to Natlan? That's a little creepy.
You'll be generously rewarded, I promise you.
Well, at least he got straight to the point. Should we hear what he has to say?
e se o pagamento for bom...
Alright, we'll hear your request.
You know the great shaman Sitlali, right? I need her help with something.
Yeah, but the chances of her helping a random stranger just because we asked?
Qual a personalidade dela? Bem baixas.
Yeah, Sitlali really doesn't like dealing with strangers.
I heard about that from other members of her tribe. But they told me if one person could convince her, it would be the golden-haired traveler. If you manage it, I'll even double your pay.
Por que você precisa da ajuda dela?
Oh yeah, we should definitely get to the bottom of that first.
It's kind of a long story, and there's tribal history involved, so you should hear it from an expert. Alie, if you could.
Of course. I don't often have an eager audience for this kind of thing. Nice to meet you. The name's Alie. I'm a researcher from the Fontaine Research Institute. Unlike most researchers, I have a keen interest in ancient ruins. That's why I was invited to join Monsieur Montluçon's team. Have you heard of the legend of the great shaman Huitzilin?
Parece familiar.
Yes. According to local records, she was a color mystic who lived over 200 years ago, and the most adept in her tribe at using that particular technique. Out of all of her exploits, her most celebrated is the Battle of Seven Colors. According to legend, the battle was triggered by an abyss invasion, one of the most brutal in Natlan's history, even from a greater historical perspective. Amazingly, Natlan was able to turn the tide despite being at an extreme disadvantage. The key to victory was none other than a color Huitzilin created on the battlefield. The color was extraordinary, illusory in appearance while also seeming to possess physical form. Legend has it that Huitzilin used the color to construct a magnificent maze on the battlefield and trap all the enemies inside. This allowed her allies to launch a counterattack and ultimately secure victory.
Anyway, that's the gist of it. We don't want to take up too much of your time. That story is the reason I came to Natlin. I often publish books about the history of other nations. They always end up faring well on the market. When I heard this story for the first time, I wanted to include it in my next collection, but historical records about Natlin aren't very detailed. We haven't been able to determine where the battle took place, or find any definitive evidence that it occurred at all. Even within the Masters of the Nightwind, people dispute the legitimacy of the story. Some believe it to be a myth. If that were the case, the story would not be fit for publication.
But if you're just including it in a story collection, why does it matter if it never happened?
Well, you see, the slogan for the collection is Restoring the Truth of History. Naturally, I need it to be factual. That's why I'm here. The Masters of the Nightwind are said to have a tradition of recording past events, so I wanted to consult their records. But I was refused access to the Obsidian Altar. Application after application, and all I received were a few ordinary woven scrolls with nothing to offer. Honestly, I'm just trying to promote their history, and they make such a fuss.
According to my research, their scrolls are considered sacred relics in addition to historical records. Naturally, outsiders are rarely granted access. Not to mention, the scrolls we did get to review actually contain a huge amount of information. I just need more time, and I could...
We've been over this, Alier. There's no need to waste time on those scrolls when we have a better way.
Sweet Lolly, you mean?
Exactly. You're well aware, I'm sure, that Sitlali has been alive for more than 200 years. That means she lived during the era of the Battle of Seven Colors. If she agrees to be my consultant, then no other historical records are necessary.
Oh, that's what you want.
So, what do you say? I'll quadruple the pay if it helps sweeten the deal.
Well, it's not that we don't want to help you.
Mas a gente realmente deveria ir perguntar a ela.
Oh, right! The duty the chief gave us has a lot to do with wheat sealing. Who knows? The Battle of Seven Colors might lead us in the right direction. All right, we'll help you convince Seat Lolly. Just let us do the talking, okay?
Of course.
Bem, raposas e magos, eu vou ficando por aqui. Espero que gostem do vídeo, se inscreva no canal e ative o sininho de notificação para mais vídeos e futuras lives. Deixe seu like e comente o que estão achando. Não deixe de me seguir também nas outras redes sociais, links na descrição e até breve.